Hey everyone, so this week we're talking about the representation of women in the media. Sorry, my voice is going. Media is a really huge concept that encompasses a lot of different types of media, and it would be kind of impossible for me to cover everything in a nice bite-sized video. So I thought I'd zoom in and focus on one type of media, which is advertising. I'm sure if you're someone who identifies as a feminist or feels some sort of affinity or attraction to the feminist cause, then advertising is probably something that you've had thoughts about. I'm assuming is going to be something about how crappy it is. Some ad campaigns are brilliant and innovative and creative, and that is exactly what advertising should be, advertising at its best. I really like the Sony Bravia TV advert with the exploding paint. If you've not seen it, then you should Google it because it's really fun. And that was really cool, and that is how advertising should be done. Some advertising, however, is the product of lazy, talentless, bastard marketing execs who produce two kinds of crappy ads in relation to sexism. First kind is adverts which sell you something by telling you that you're not good enough without it. I'm sort of thinking specifically of ads aimed at women for things like makeup, diet pills, or cosmetic surgery. The second kind, which is the kind given the video topic that I'm going to focus on, are adverts which portray women as tired old sexist stereotypes or use women's bodies and sexuality to sell you their shit. So, adverts which portray women as sexist stereotypes, and wow, there are a lot of these bad boys. Fairy, who make washing up liquid, have recently made an ad to commemorate their something anniversary, I don't really care. And it's a mock-up of Fairy ads throughout the year, so it goes from black and white to colour. You can see all the different fashion trends. But in every single ad, the person holding the washing up liquid is a woman, occasionally accompanied by a smiling daughter running into the kitchen to help her wash up the dishes, because housework is women's work, right? Now, you can argue that when you actually look at statistics, women do the vast majority of domestic labour, which is true, and it sucks, and that's a result of sexism, but that's another tirade for another day. So Fairy are simply trying to appeal to their target market demographically, so I should really get off their back for reflecting reality. Well, the thing is, advertising affects real life. It really does, and the more we see domestic labour being presented as the responsibility of a woman, the more that we think domestic labour is the responsibility of a woman. And it perpetuates these tired, old, sexist stereotypes which still have a really crappy and limiting impact on women's lives today. Similarly, adverts for anything related to babies, cooking, cleaning, house things, often feature nice, smiling white women tidying up after their adorable white families. Again, cut that shit out. Childcare and domestic labour is not women's work. It's adults' work, adults of all genders, and it would be really nice if advertising could reflect that. Now, advertising using women's bodies and sexuality to sell products. This seems to make up a lot of advertising that you see today. I'm sure you've seen adverts before which make you think how is that related to your product? Why is that lady naked? This product has nothing to do with sex. Why is there sex? Like this Burger King advert, for example. Seriously, Burger King, what the fuck is going on here? Why is there really obvious blowjob imagery in your fucking sandwich advert? What? Why? What? I think some of the main perpetrators of presenting women as sex objects in their ads, and let's make this clear, that is what is going on here. The women in these adverts are intended to inspire lust in the viewer. That is their sole purpose in these images. Make no mistake about it. And I think some of the main perpetrators of this women as sex objects narrative in advertising is the fashion industry, the perfume industry, and undoubtedly the alcohol industry. In some of the ads I'm about to show you, the models' faces aren't even in them. It's like they're actually thinking, what would be the most efficient way for me to dehumanise this woman and present her as an actual object? I know, I won't even include all of her body in it. I'll just take a picture of her boobs. All these ads come from genderads.com, which is a great resource that I'm going to talk a bit more about later. See what I mean? These lazy ass advertisers are selling products so crap they can't even give you a reason to buy it. Like, there's no buy this whiskey because it tastes so amazing and oaky type adverts. No adverts which are like, oh, this perfume is so amazing, flowers will literally bloom when you walk past them. How shite does your product have to be if you're like, guys, there is no way we can sell this on its own merit, so why don't we just put a picture of a hot girl, or even better, a hot girl's boobs in there, because at least then people will look at it. And trust me, the way in which women's bodies are literally cut up in advertising has a really harmful effect on women and society. If the only way that we see women in advertising as sexual objects designed and presented specifically for our consumption, having no other purpose, then that changes the way that we see women in real life. Because advertising teaches us, this is women, this is how you look at them. Let's also not forget that women of colour get doubly fucked over by this advertising shit too. Women of colour are often presented as exotic objects. Black women are often depicted as aggressive and animalistic, hence the reason they fucking love putting black models in animal print. Latin American women are often depicted as having like an uncontrollable lust and sexuality. And Asian women are often pictured as docile and compliant. The fuck? How is this socially acceptable to do? This is like leaving aside the fact that we live in a really racist society, and not only are like women of colour presented as like exotic, really highly sexualized objects, like they have to put up with really shitty representations of their culture too. Now I'm going to direct you to two amazing resources. The first is genderads.com, which I mentioned earlier, which examines print advertising in relation to gender, race, ethnicity, class, you name it, they've got an analysis. It's amazing, and it's full of examples of adverts, and it's got little introductions to the topic down the side as well. Secondly, Jean Kilbourne's Killing Us Softly series, which you can find trailers for, and I think you can find some parts of it on YouTube. It's a really compelling online lecture. Kilbourne is a really great lecturer. She's really funny and she's engaging, and she just rips apart these adverts and the ideas they perpetuate. And she talks about everything, not just about sexualization and objectification, but also about sort of like the normalization of violence towards women in adverts, which is really important. I'm sorry that this has been a bit of a skim over, but hopefully those two sources will provide more information than I can. Thanks for watching, guys.